Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Hannah Crapeau, and I'm the Content Marketing Manager at Certiport. We're so happy to have you as part of our certified educator community and thrilled you're here to learn with us today. Please note that the session will be recorded, so we ask that all attendees verify that their microphones are muted throughout the presentation. We will have a Q&A at the end of the presentation, so feel free to send questions through the chat or our Q&A feature as those come up. Today, our topic is MSi Remote Compatibility, and we'll be learning from Terrence Moore, CEO of Moore Solutions. Without further ado, I'll pass it over to you, Terrence.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor for me to be with everyone today. Still getting used to this remote stuff. Being such a people person, I just wish I could have you all in the room with me, but maybe soon, okay? I want to talk about the MSi platform that allows students and teachers to prepare for industry certifications and go through curriculum for MOS and ACA, ESB and IC3, even if they don't have the software available on their machine. So the MSi platform is a Moodle-based platform, but it's our own flavor. It's been highly customized and geared towards K12 and higher education. And also we have a workforce platform. So right now I'm logged in as a demo teacher. And
Terrence, can you actually go ahead and share your screen?
That would be good. Okay. This will stop screen share. Do you want to continue? And screen 2. Great. Can everyone see my screen now?
I'm still seeing, there we go. I think it's transitioning over. Perfect. Yep, we're good to go.
Excellent. So a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So here's a picture of my screen. So right now, as a teacher, when you log in through the MSi K12 platform, you see all of the courses that you're teaching. You have access to a calendar, so you can assign work. And you can do various things such as switch roles, view all of your grades. So I'm like a super teacher here. I'm teaching all of these courses. So if I want to jump straight into the grading for any of my courses, I can just click there and jump right into, let's say, Word 2016 and see all of my grades for that particular course, which is very handy for teachers that are teaching multiple courses. I can also switch my role if I want to see what a student would see. Okay, that's also very helpful. The teachers don't have to go in and create a student account. They can simply just switch roles, and that's one less thing they have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and return to my normal role, and I'm going to go to my dashboard where all of my courses are available once again. Okay, so I'm going to go into Word 2016 and show you how our scaffold is designed for MOS training. Okay, first, you can tell exactly how many students are enrolled in your course, how many have completed, in progress, and yet to start. We brand our courses for each school. One of the nice things about the MSi courses is we actually create a custom instance of the course that just has you as the teacher and your students, which means you can actually customize your course without fear of messing up another teacher that also may be in the same course. We provide the student enrollment keys right inside the course, and we break them out by period. So when your students get ready to enroll, the process is super simple and super easy. Okay, I'm going to go back to the course overview. And let me show you how the courses are laid out. So each MSi course has a digital textbook that's embedded and chunked before it's going to be needed. So this is Word, Introduction to the Word Application. We tell you what the learning objectives are, what domains are going to be covered, and the domains match by number with the certification domain objectives from Certiport. We give you the key terms and key words, which is great to use as vocabulary. And the way the student advances through the course, they just simply click next, and the LMS keeps track of where they are in the course. So these are the actual interior textbook pages. And like I said, we chunk it, so this one has 3 pages. And as a teacher, you can lecture on these or assign it as reading or use it to inform a discussion. Okay, and it lets you know everything that's needed to be able to complete the upcoming lessons. Okay, the main goal of the MSi course is to cover the 4 different learning styles. Your audio learners, visual learners, your students that learn best through reading and writing, and your kinesthetic learners for our hands-on people, which most are hands-on, especially adolescents. Okay, so after they do that little bit of reading, this is a page we're very proud of. This is the practice page, and we say that this empowers students to learn in the way that suits them best. So we have a video here that's closed captioned and narrated. We have an opportunity to go into the simulation to do the lessons in a hands-on environment. And we just had the reading pages. So every student, no matter how they learn, there's something for them in the MSi courseware. So let me open up this video.
Select the heading Market Analysis.
So I don't know if you can hear it, but it is narrated.
Select the font dialog box launcher.
If the student is working
Select
on a tablet,
Advanced.
they can make it bigger.
Select the drop-down arrow.
And they can watch it as many times as they want. They can fast forward, they can rewind, whatever they need to make sure they get the necessary information to complete the upcoming quiz. So let me go into the simulation. The MSi simulations are excellent. They have a dynamic window inside of a simulation where I believe the only ones that have this. And it obviously being a simulation, you do not need Microsoft Word on your computer in order to be able to do these very rigorous and relevant activities. So let me show you how one works. The student reads the instructions and then actually clicks through in a hands-on environment. So the first thing here is select the heading, Market Analysis. Easy enough. I just click that. In the font subgroup, select the dialog launcher box. Now, the dialog launcher box was discussed in the reading. It was also shown in the video. But let's say if the student still didn't quite get it and they click in the wrong place, they'll get an incorrect. They click in the wrong place again, they'll get another incorrect. Then it'll highlight in green where they're supposed to click. But even though that happened, it deducted points. So a student can do the equivalent of Christmas treeing this entire activity, okay? And I'm going to show you what happens at the end. Now, we have obviously the ability to click. We have the ability to type and enter. Here's something that has to be entered. They have to enter 3-PT and then press enter. So if I select 3-PT and I hit enter, you see it just took it, and I can continue on. And I just want to get to the end of it to show you what happens. I believe in this one, we have to copy and paste or cut and paste some information. There's the dialog box launcher again. And I guess I can just keep getting those incorrects. And I know a few of these, so I'll go ahead and hit them. Okay, I'm going to use paste, and this is the different kinds of paste you have to use. This is something that might be assessed on in an exam. And then after I'm done, I'll get a green continue button. And when I click that button, I'll get my score. Now, as you can see, I failed because I kept Christmas treeing it and clicking around with the incorrects. Now, this score does not go in the grade book because we're still in learning mode. So this score is just for the student to know when they have achieved mastery and they're ready to move on to the quiz. So if the student received a 50, they might want to go back and maybe read the text again and maybe find out, now where exactly is that dialog launcher box? I know it's around here somewhere. And they can just get, like I said, continue to go through it until they feel comfortable. They can watch that video, which is going to show them what they have to do, and then attempt the simulation again. Once they feel comfortable and they've received 100 or at least a 90 on the simulation, they click next, they'll then be on the quiz page. Now the quiz is very similar to what they're going to encounter, what they encountered in the practice, except it doesn't tell them the steps. It just tells them what they have to do. and they have to recall the steps, which is why students do so well on the certification exam, because we're not just producing trained seals and doing a brain dump and telling you have to remember this narrow thing, but by building lessons around the parts of the software that are important for them to know to be college and career ready, they end up much better prepared, okay? And I'm not going to bore you watching me do this, but it's going to go through all of the same stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and abandon this simulation. So that's the way those work. And then after I finish with that quiz, I click next. Now I have a little bit more reading that I have to do. So it's read, watch, do, read, watch, do, differentiated instruction, having them doing several different things. This way they don't become bored. It's hands-on, immediate feedback. These are all things that are important to students, okay? Now I'm going to go back to the course overview because there is one thing I want to show you that I think is important. So here's the scaffold, like we said. So we have an introduction, topic, practice, quiz. Then at the end of each chapter, we have a project. Now what the project does is takes into account everything that was learned in that entire chapter and boils it down to a rigorous project. So project 1 is modifying a document. And in this project, you have to change the properties of the document to make the status draft. You have to change the category to press release, and then you have to inspect the document to remove headers, footers, and watermarks. This is stuff they're really going to need to know if they want to be successful on the exam. And there's things in, I mean, if you're just self-taught and you've never gone through any of this, I mean, right now I'm in the Backstage View. One of the nice things about our simulations too, the instructions stay even in the Backstage View. With most most softwares, once you get into the Backstage View, because you're outside of the software, the instructions disappear. But I mean, this show all properties in the Backstage View. If you haven't taken a class, you're not going to know that's there. You're not guessing that. Okay. And then as you can see, I have to go in and make actual changes to the status of the document, and I have to type information. And again, I'm not going to bore you watching me do all of that. But suffices to say, this is a very rigorous project in the course where it's really going to drill down into stuff that they absolutely need to know to be able to be college and career ready and be ready for that exam. Okay? And also too, I think our textbooks are very nice looking. I'm going to go into a couple more of the chapter headings. So chapter 2 is managing documents with Word options. And again, right by the numbers, you know those certification exam objectives are being covered. Let's look at number 3. I'll show you one more and then we'll move on. Okay. Number 3. Okay. Create and format documents. I mean, for you folks that are certified in Microsoft, you're recognizing a lot of this stuff. And these simulations do get more and more difficult as we go. Okay, so now, as demo teacher, let me show you how easy it is to add your students. Okay, so like I said, we provide you with the student enrollment keys. So let's say if you are enrolling students in the period 7, you simply take this enrollment key, you copy it, and you give it to your students however you share information with them. So their Google Classroom or whatever. Okay, now, as a student, to log in, the student just types in MSi K12. And if it's a brand new student, they say create a new account. Okay, now I'm going to take my stuff out of here because it's seeing that I'm already a user, but I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to put in my username, and the username can be whatever you want it to be as long as it follows certain criteria. So I'm going to put in today's date as my username. Okay, and my password, I'm going to put in as password 1. Okay, and I'm going to put that enrollment key in that my teacher gave me. I'm making sure there's no leading or trailing digits. I'm enrolling as a student, and I'm going to put my name as first student, last name student. I'm from Anytown, USA, and the United States. And now I'm going to say create my account. And look at that. I just got entered into this course. So as a student, once I click this course, I see that I'm in as a student. I have access to all of my classes. And when I click grades as a student, I see my individual grade report instead of the teacher's grade book, and all of the lessons ready to go. So let me go over to the teacher side one more time. So now as the teacher, I'll show you how real time this is, especially if you're working with remote learners. You want to make sure you can tell when they were in, if they were working, what work they did. So let's see how accurate this is, okay? Let me go to participants. And let's see if I have a new student. Oh, first student, period 7, logged in 37 seconds ago. That's how real time this is, okay? And when I go to my grade book, it'll automatically put my student in the proper grading period. So I think that was period 7 I added them into. Look at that, first student. So I can actually break it out by period, okay? So there's my student. And as the student works through the courses, I'll see his or her grades populate right in here, okay? So as far as having the data that you need, especially when a parent wants to know, well, how's my student doing? They said that they logged in, but you know, I don't see any grades for them. So you can actually go to the student's name, select their name, and pull a report. Okay, so I'm going to pull all logs, and I can see the student logged in today at 4:15, and this is where the student went. I can actually see the breadcrumbs of where they went and how long they stayed. And it'll give you a complete graph of every place that student went, okay? And as far as grades go, you have, when it comes time to get the grades out of the learning management system into your district grade book, we can work with your IT department to link the grade books. But before that happens, if time is of the essence and you need to get going teaching your kids, you can just export your grades as an Excel spreadsheet and then import them into your district grade book. So you can see all the different grading categories here. You have quizzes and you have projects. So you have 2 classes of grades. So you can actually do your grade weighting if you're using Skyward or STS or Power School. You can say every time I enter a project, I want it to be weighted 40%. Every time I enter a quiz, I want it to be weighted 30%. And then I want to put a class participation grade. You have complete control over how you want to handle your grading, okay? And let me take you into one of the Adobe courses now. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my dashboard. Okay, and let's say if I want to go into my Photoshop course. Okay, now with Photoshop, it's a little different because the exam isn't completely driven by just the software. There's also like soft skills stuff, and I call it soft skills. So let's take a look. We start off again with the learning objectives. And then we have the textbook pages that are embedded, same way, embedded and chunked. And then we have these like knowledge checks in Adobe. And these are a way for students to we just want to reinforce that they did the reading, okay? Very simple. Again, interactive. This one talks about if you're doing a flyer for a 70s garage band, which one of these would you use? Is it that one? Well, no, that's a country western flyer, isn't it? Okay, so how about this one? Say we got it right, okay? But after these knowledge checks, well, excuse me, we have another little bit of reading. And you, my Adobe people recognize a lot of this stuff. Copyright rules, intellectual property, fair use doctrine, derivative work. Okay, we make sure that we cover everything needed to adequately prepare that student for the certification exam. So you don't have to go get the software from one place and then get the soft skills for working in the design industry in another place. We put everything together, and we make sure every single certification exam objective is covered. Okay. And then we actually have the assessments that are done inside of our LMS. So derivative work. So you can see everything maps to the reading, and the student actually goes through. And it's very similar to what, like I say, what they're going to encounter on the exam. Fill in the blank, true, false, drag and drop. We want them to get comfortable with what they're going to be exposed to, because that's a 50-minute exam. And, you know, let's just take our hats off to our students. I mean, these kids are taking the same exam that adults are taking that are trying to get a job in the industry. So when you have a student that prevails on that exam, that's impressive, because it's not a second exam for, you know, students and a first exam for adults. They're really bringing it. So I'm always very proud of our students when they pass those rigorous exams. So after the student answers these questions, they can actually submit their answers. It asks them again if they want to submit it. And here's something that's really cool. It tells them what they got wrong so that the student can go back and remediate themselves. Because again, we're in learning mode. Even though we have a final exam in some of our courses, the true final exam is the industry certification exam. So we want that student to just keep learning. Oh, why did I get that wrong? Why was that false? All right, the answer was true. Let me read the question again. And you know, once they're done with their course and before you test, they can go back in and they can, again, go through some of the questions, maybe some of the areas that they struggled with. Maybe they passed, but they struggled with it, you know? So, and let me show you the simulations in the Adobe. We have them laid out a little bit different. Again, there's a video.
Select the View tab.
So in this one, we're changing the ruler settings. So again, it looks like
Double-click the
Photoshop,
top
but it's
ruler.
not Photoshop. This way they can do it again on any mobile device, tablet. Okay, and then they actually go into a simulation. Okay, again, looks like Photoshop, but it's not Photoshop. I already took this one. I'm going to retake it. Select the View tab and then select rulers. All right, View tab and rulers, and then double click the top ruler. Okay, so we do have double click capability, and then select pixels. So I see rulers and inches. Let me go to pixels and then okay. And file when done. 85%, I clicked wrong someplace. Okay, and then the same thing, the assessment simulation, they do the same thing basically, but it doesn't prompt them every step of the way. And I'll tell you what, this is very effective. This showing them how to do it with the steps and then removing the steps and having them do it just from understanding and recalling where the parts of the software are. Very effective because they do it in the practice, then they do it in the quiz, and then they're also going to do it in the project at the end. So 3 times they're seeing this and they're going to remember. I'll bet you they won't forget where the ruler units are. Okay. So that's basically how our courseware is laid out. It's easy to enroll students. We actually brand the courses for you. So this one has, let me go to the dashboard. That one just had our logo because we have to put something there as a placeholder. But when you sign up for a course, we ask you to upload your logo, and then we go in and put it in for you. Our ESB course, it's just a beautiful course. I absolutely love this course. And again, same thing. It maps to the certification exam objectives, textbooks that are embedded, beautifully written, easy to understand. We have the knowledge checks. Also, one of the nice things about our ESB course, for example, too, is we actually, just like in the exam, we have the calculator that's built in. We have a drag and drop for the balance sheet and the, you know, all of the financial documents that a student would have to know how to do. So our courses are very comprehensive. Drag and drops, you're used to seeing this in exams. So I'm rambling now. Okay, so that's basically in a nutshell how our courses work. We offer, we host on Amazon S3 servers, so we have fast servers, and we boast 99% uptime. We have servers all over the world. The Saudi Arabian Kingdom has actually adopted our ESP course as a required course for all of their students. So we actually have servers in the Middle East. We have servers located strategically in 4 different parts of the United States. So that's me.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Terrence. I know one of the things that some of our teachers have really appreciated is the customization option. So can you speak to that a little bit?
I can. Okay, so let's say I'm in my Word class. And one of the things that I like is, as a teacher, I have this really cool resume writing project that I do. Well, as the teacher, again, because you're the only one in this course, you can go and edit your course. So I turn on editing, and there's a couple of things I can do. One of the things, if you don't want the students to just be able to go through at their own pace, I can lock a lesson, and then it's now hidden from the students. Okay. Oh, this is cool. I'm going to show you that. But here, so let me turn off editing, and now I just locked that for the students. Now I still have my student out there, my first student. Okay. So let's take a look at first student, and look how quick that was. I just locked that lesson, and now first student sees it as unavailable. So that's a pretty cool thing. Let me get back to the matter at hand now. Okay, so I'm back in as demo teacher, and let me unlock this before I forget. Forgive me, people. I'm so sorry, but if I don't, I'm going to forget, and then somebody's going to get a locked lesson. Okay, so I go back to show topics. As far as adding stuff, so let's say at the end of chapter 2, you say, you know what, I want these kids to write a resume. I just go to add an activity or resource, and I can put an assignment. I can put an external tool, a glossary. Look at all the different options I have here. I can put a file, or I can just put a page, or I can even put a URL to link it to something that I already have. And the teachers have complete control over this to customize the course. And it's really how comfortable you feel adding information. And if you would like us to help you with that, literally all you have to do is put in a ticket, request an appointment, and we will be happy to show you how to do that in as much in depth as you would like. And there's never additional charge for any of that stuff.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Your tutorial has been so thorough. We haven't had any questions come through the chat, which is great. I know, Terrence, you and I talked a little bit about some potential follow-up trainings for teachers who might be purchasing and just getting started. Did you want to speak to that a little bit about what the timeline is for when those will be taking place?
Yes, we offer a training every day at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'm working with Certiport to have some additional trainings on their website. But you will have at least 2 opportunities to tune into a training every week. That's at least. My goal is I like to see 4 or 5 different opportunities. So for example, if you wanted to tune into a training, we just give you a link. You don't have to make an appointment, and you just log in, and we take the questions as they come. We feel very comfortable that there's nothing you can ask us that we can't answer. And if we can't answer it, we'll find the answer. How about that? Do I see a question?
Yes, it looks like one just came through in our chat. Does Adobe Materials sync with certain versions of the ACA exam, or does it cover all versions?
We try to hone in on the latest version. The way Adobe does it, sometimes they'll do just like a little incremental change, and it's not worth it just to do everything over again. So we try to just kind of hone in on the latest version. And plus, since they sell it on a subscription base, they really force people to update really soon. So we try to make sure you're ready for the latest exam.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And going along with that same question, do you have multiple versions of the Microsoft Office exam, or are those all catered content-wise to the latest exam?
Actually, we offer 16 and 19. So you can see here, This is 19, and then we have 16. So we have a 16 demo and a 19 demo. And
Perfect.
so we always try to offer the one back. Also, I want to show you something really cool. If you ever need help, right? We have a help desk icon at the bottom of every single page on a learning management system. So if you click this, you can actually fill out a ticket, or you can go into our knowledge base. So let's say if you want to know how to enroll existing students into additional courses, click this and we give you a video. Isn't that cool?
Here's a quick video on how students can enroll in multiple courses.
Right? Okay. So anyway, we think that's cool.
Love that. So one other question that just came through is for teachers who are wanting to connect maybe with other customers who use MSi, is there a way for them to do that?
There is. If you would like us. Now, just like I wouldn't give out your information without asking you first, let me know and I can definitely give you a few teachers. We have a teacher. Now, Miami-Dade, and I'm not telling tales out of school. This was on the news. They bought this big online learning platform and they spent a lot of money on it. Then it got hacked. So they had a little bit of an issue. Teachers that use our curriculum actually said to us, I have supply money, my own money. I want to use that to buy your curriculum because we've been using you for so many years and our pass rates are so high because of the MSi curriculum and especially utilizing it for students that are working remotely. So yes, I would be happy to give you some names of people that are using it. We have a lot of customers that really like us. Not everyone likes us. I mean, we have a lot of, 50, 60,000 users, whatever we have. But I will tell you this, if you have a problem, I will bend over backwards and do whatever I need to do to get you what you need so that you can serve our ultimate client, which is the student.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Terrence. It looks like we haven't had any other questions. We're so grateful for you offering your time for us today and for giving us this fantastic demonstration. If we have any other questions for those attending, feel free to reach out through your Certiport rep. Otherwise, you are welcome to connect to our team on social media and we can connect you directly with Terrence if there are follow-up questions as well. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon. Thanks, Terrence.
Appreciate you guys. Stay safe. You're important to a lot of people.
Thank you.